All right. Representative Duffy, as you know, you closed out 2024 session, though the House of Reps, the senators did.
Yep.
What are some of the great things that were able to be achieved for Holyoke and for the Commonwealth?
So, hey, great to see you. Great to talk to everybody. We finished our 19-month formal session on July 30, well, kind of early in the morning, August 1st, 2024. So informal session is still going on, and I'll talk a little bit about the end of formal session means like debate within the chambers is over, but there's still work going on with bills like, the House passed something, the Senate passed something, and so now there are conference committees. Actually, like this week, a couple of great bills came out. But first, let me say two of our biggest accomplishments. Like every year, we have a great budget this year, fiscal year 2025. $58 billion. I can't even really wrap my head around that. Yeah, it's
Well,
intense.
that'll get you 3 bags at the supermarket. Okay.
Well, speaking of which, we made great investments in helping working families. A couple of my favorite parts of the budget, and I'll talk about them statewide, and then what it means for Holyoke. We made really important investments in public education, including guaranteeing free breakfast and lunch for all public school students. Um, we love that. We also made
Yeah,
great.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Representative.
Sure.
That is just so important because before it was like you have to prove. I mean, what a burden for
And
a child. Yeah,
shaming people, and
yeah,
we're like, we're bringing our students in, we're educating them, we're hopefully like teaching them how to work and play. Let's feed them.
yeah,
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 exactly. And
yeah,
let's
yeah,
feed them good food. That's
yeah,
I'm always looking for that too.
yeah.
um we made good investments in transportation, in our social supports, which are, which I care a lot about, which my constituents care a lot about, and a
What
huge
do you
reason.
mean by that, by transportation? Can you be more specific, please?
I can be more specific, and it starts with because, as I always say to you, one of my favorite refrains, because the voters of Massachusetts were so smart and passed the Fair Share Amendment. So there's a 4% surtax on income over $1 million, meaning if you make $1,001, it's just that $1 that you
Mhm.
have the 4% surtax on. That money gets put into what's called the Fair Share Fund, and we have made a pledge. It's also legislatively, the voters asked for it. That money will only go to public education and transportation. So I have little notes here because I can never remember these numbers. So I'm just gonna look at this for a minute. Um, that means that, just excuse me as I'm scrolling to where I want to go. Um, we're putting it, there is a lot of money going to the MBTA, as Boston is a big central part of our
It's the
economy.
center of the universe, yeah.
Yes, exactly. But we also have $204 million going to our regional transit authorities, which means we're catching up with where we should be funding places like the Pioneer Valley Transit Authority. There's a number of us who are continuing to push for more funding, but we've also got 45 million going to roads and bridges. That is going to be what we call Chapter 90 money. That 45 million is going directly to municipalities to keep working on the projects that we need to fund.
Well, there's oh geez, I don't know off the top of my head. There's like something like 352 communities in Massachusetts.
351, very close, very
Thank you.
close.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yes.
So 45 million, it sounds like a lot for us, but when you have to spread it among
Sure.
351 communities.
And remember, that's the second round. There was a earlier round earlier in the year of Chapter 90 money. This is supplemental Chapter 90 money that's coming from the Fair Share Amendment.
Right.
It gets spread out proportionally, not unlike school funding.
Right.
It gets spread out proportionally and takes into account things like the number of miles of road, your population, et cetera, et cetera.
And for Holyoke, what does that mean? Or at least, Holyoke, Springfield, this area, Hampden County.
I do not have the exact numbers, but
Yeah.
they will come out and they'll be public and
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
But they're gonna get something also.
Yes, exactly. That's coming out this fall. And so the other stuff for Holyoke, Holyoke Public Schools are getting $101 million from the state
Wow.
this year, as it should be, right? We have we have high needs students, and there were so many years before the Student Opportunity Act when Holyoke wasn't getting the funding it needed to take care of our citizens. So, we're getting where we need to be. So the Holyoke Public School budget is like $117 million, and we're hearing, it's a well-funded budget, which is as it should be. And then can I tell like a couple of other things that I advocated for and got just for Holyoke? We got $75,000 for Holyoke Community College's Thrive program. They've got great wraparound services for the students there. I love it. We got $35,000 towards Fiestas Patronales.
Wow. Wow.
And another $35,000 for Homework House and the programs that they do with Holyoke Public Schools. So huge priority for me, my constituents, everybody. Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
As I say, advocating for Holyoke is very gratifying. Very gratifying.
Yeah, you're on several committees, and I will again include the committees that you serve on, both in the video and in the text form when we put this on social media. And so you're a very busy lawmaker.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. Yeah. There's a lot going on. And the other and now this fall is more informal sessions. The city council is sending me home rule petitions, which is great.
For the treasurer, right?
Yeah, there's stuff to work on still with colleagues. We'll still have meetings in Boston, but the pace is much more Holyoke focused for the fall, and I love that.
I just want to, for people who don't know, the home rule is just the phrase that is used so that you can present to your colleagues in the legislature, look, Holyoke wants the treasurer position to be an appointed position, not an elected position.
Exactly.
So that's what would allow Holyoke to do that.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, the council,
my colleagues will be supportive of that. It's not controversial. So
no.
Yeah, you got to put it through the process.
Yeah, here in Holyoke, what I'm understanding is that, okay, who has ultimate authority over the appointment? The mayor, the city council, both?
And I think they've worked out the compromise that everybody feels good about. So,
Yeah.
And that's the job of our local government. And then it's my job to have the legislature approve the agreements that they've come to. Right. Exactly.
Anything else you want to announce?
I
have a question.
Then of course, the other huge big win in the budget is free community college for all.
Oh, that's right.
It's so exciting. It's really exciting.
Now, when we say free community college, what does that mean? Okay, pretend I'm a student. Yeah.
I should say, and as as a colleague from Holyoke Community College said to me, and they are correct, I should be saying mass educate, because higher education is never free. It's tuition and fees, but it costs. I shouldn't say that it's free. It always costs money to go to school, but Holyoke Community College is very generous and works hard to, like, everybody who gets in, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do a lot of
When you
bead
say
flags.
tuitions and fees, that means if, you know, for people who still want to be students, you pay for your courses.
No tuition, no, I mean, if you're an enrolled
You're
student,
enrolled.
your courses are free.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
what are we paying for then? What are the, if I'm a student, what am I paying for?
That, books,
Oh, okay. The
you
other
know,
stuff.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
That's an
not housing, yeah,
enormous a investment in the future
yeah,
to make it
exactly.
easy for
And
people to learn
inequity,
and
in
equity.
equity,
Yeah,
those, I
right.
mean, but Holyoke Community College, I say it all the time, but what a gem.
Yeah,
Like, set
it is.
students up, they can decide if they want to go on and get their bachelor's, beautiful
Do it.
pathway,
Do it.
beautiful pathway. If they take the career training that's there and sets them up well to enter.
Oh my goodness. For me, community colleges are the unsung heroes of education. They
Totally agree.
really are. Oh my goodness.
Totally
That is
agree.
great. That is a great. Yes, let's make sure we spotlight that also. And
Yeah.
then if they, unless you have something else that you want to
No,
spotlight, okay.
yeah, yeah.
We talked about it before we got on the recording, but please, we at Holyoke Media, we transmit the House of Representatives sessions.
Yeah.
And I watch it. I'm such a geek. I love
Oh,
C-SPAN.
I know.
It's just like, this is
We
my
watch
favorite
we
thing.
watch the DNC on C-SPAN. Like,
Yeah.
get those commentators out of there.
I
I just
know,
don't
I know.
watch.
Let's just see it,
Yeah.
the way it
Yep.
is.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for doing that, by the way. I mean, it's
oh,
on every public website, but it's good for people to get it
oh
through.
yeah. Oh yeah. And you guys, when I say you guys, I mean in the House of Reps, because we don't carry the Senate inside the Senate chamber. Um, it's almost every time I look, you guys are hugging each other. What is going on?
I love
Like
my
Woodstock
colleagues.
over there? What?
I love my colleagues. And so many people say to me,
Republicans
like
and
politics.
Democrats, I should say.
Yeah,
Like,
Republicans and Democrats,
oh,
absolutely.
shaking hands, just
Yeah,
collaborating.
we are collaborating. That's the thing about being a state rep is, it's true for senators too, that we're on the ground. Like, we all respect that you're doing this job because you care about your community.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what, like, listen, I have a very respectable salary and I'm comfortable, but like, you don't do this to get rich. You
No, no, no,
you
no,
don't
no,
serve in the
no.
House of Representatives to get rich.
No,
You do it because you care
it's
about your.
really heartfelt work.
It absolutely is. So, and I think, the entire political spectrum is represented there. And I really,
I
we
know.
work
Just so
together.
for people out there who don't know, they're always in group hug at the House of Representatives.
We do. We love each other. It's just such great people. I love my colleagues. I love my colleagues. Just
Sweet.
really, really.
And as a member of the public who watches from time to time, it's really gratifying, even as you all can debate very seriously and with a lot of passion,
Yeah.
different issues. You are above everything else, colleagues who respect one another.
Yeah. I want to get things done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that is awesome to see, because as
I'm
we
glad
don't see this in Washington, D.C.
I don't see it
We
in
see a lot of
Washington.
politicking and posturing, and it's just awful. It's just like dripping with awfulness, and the way that colleagues over there treat each other, the way that they speak about one another.
Oh my God.
The hostility is just,
yeah.
I mean, it's like everybody needs to go back to kindergarten and learn how to be nice.
I can't picture that kind of, I mean, we'll get into it on issues,
sure.
but this personal stuff, I can't even imagine it.
No,
I can't.
no. It's repellent. It's repulsive. This is not what we want in our elected leaders. What we want is what you guys are doing in the House of Reps, which is fiercely debating what you believe in, being in total disagreement, and still respecting
And
one
then
another.
walking up and like shaking each other's hands and like, how can we get to the same place?
Yeah,
Right.
like remember like Ronald Reagan, President Reagan, and Tip O'Neill, Speaker of the House.
right? Right?
That's a different
And,
era, obviously.
and talk about different ideologies, completely,
Yeah, no, very, very,
completely
very
different
different.
ideologies, but yeah, they wanted to get stuff done.